So just a little introduction about myself. I work in the Center of Research and Development in the Faculty of Education Science, University of Elbasan, and my co-author, my colleague and my friend, Ms. Klodiana Gjergji Avdolli. She works at the Faculty of Medical and Technical Science in the same department, in the same university. In the early 90s, Albania began making political and economic transformations. And during this period, the economic and social situation in Albania was very sensitive. And the first results of privatizations were evident with some slight improvement in the economic level. Nearly 1 in 3 Albanians were poor. And this poverty is the result of many complex factors coming from the former communist system. The liberalization and privatization reforms in Albania led to the entire transformation of the national production structure. This process has a tremendous impact on the country's economic and social affairs. Social protection was among many aspects of social economic life where institutions failed to provide a solid frame for transitional reforms. What is the point for this article? It gives a better understanding of the developments provided by self-employment, which is an indicator that is not shown in the macroeconomic data. The reported number of self-employment persons is only an indicator about the number of departures and arrivals in the enterprises, where an annual and survival probability and the fate in the labor markets of the parties remains unidentified. Exploring the choice of exiting the labor markets allows us to provide a picture of those who survived or exit this employment status. The problem of self-employment has received more consideration over the last decades. Some empirical research has been conducted using evidence from a few Western countries. Attention has been focused on specific determination of exits such as liquidity constraints or duration of self-employment and the importance of early employment status, and exit patterns with special focus on age and tenure. The literature of the transitional economy has paid attention to the issues of entering into the labor market, as well as the ambiguous character of self-employment. But issues of exciting the labor market have been little or not explored at all in Albania. The main factors influencing the labor market forces are mainly population growth and the age of this population. Population growth was only put direct pressure on the society's total resources base to support living standards, but also requires that the increased number to be absorbed into labor market. Fluctuation in population growth generate different age structures in different periods of time, which means different dependency ratios or differences in the relationship between the working population and the non-working population. While the structure of the population evolves, labor markets must get adapted to this new evolution. An economy facing an increase in the number of young people may find new entrants to the labor market difficult due to the fact that it is difficult to achieve stabilization and compress a greater demand, thus generating short-term unemployment. In an effort to understand the role of labor markets in the economy, we must look carefully to the categories of population growth, age structure, the later, and how it changed over time. So, taking into the consideration the Albania in the year of 19, its population was almost 3 million and a little bit more, and the annual growth rate was about 2% and something for the period that was prior to the transition to democracy. The rate of population growth was a result of the high birth rate through that period and the low death rate. Likewise, the average life expectancy was the highest and adult mortality among the lowest in Europe. This high growth rate was only influenced by the fact that immigration was completely neglected as a result of complete closure of the Albanian society, while during the transition, also the immigration was the big concern for the Albanian economy. If we compare the relevant indicators of the average growth rate of the population of Europe and the world in this period, which was respectively 0.6 and 1.7, it is clear that for Albania, these indicators were several times higher than later. So from 90s and onwards, the Albanian population recognized new demographic phenomenon that affected both the age structure and the population and the growth rates. The lack of strategies for promoting employment, as well as the poor performance of the economy in general, caused a large part of people able to work to be unemployed. So unemployment in big numbers, as well as the minimum income of the employed, will continue to be the biggest wound of the Albanian economy. Economic policies seem to be incapable of increasing the level of wages for a living, which continues to become more expensive every day. The lack of investment in priority sectors, as well as inflated trade and budget deficits, continue to hold hostages to potential investments so desired in these transition years. Many factors worked in favor for small business startups. The most important among them was the liberalization of the economy. The benefits of privatization in Albania are primarily aimed to the economic revitalization of the sectors themselves. The creation of a competitive market for products and services in the sectors of special importance of the economy will directly give their effects and flourish to the accelerated service sectors, as well as all artisanal and agro-industrial productions. This effect will immediately be by reducing the price of products on the market, increasing the effectiveness of private business, increasing the quality and speed of public service to the consumer and the population, promoting new initiatives, the opening of new jobs. But however, these important influencing factors for entering self-employment as they belong to the transition slowly faded with the transition to the market economy. As a conclusion to my literate article, Albania is a country with a young population, but the place occupied by the young population in the general population and in the labor force has been decreasing in recent years as a result of numbers of factors whose action started at the end of the last decades. Fluctuation in the population growth category have generated different age structures with a tendency to increase the number of the population in the middle age structures, which means that the average age of the Albanian population has increased compared to the corresponding indicators before the 90s. The immigrant indicator, which was completely negliged as a result of the complete close of Albania, has changed significantly after the years of 90s. But anyway, Albanian human potential has a young average age. It's about 30 years old, approximately. And in addition, a relatively high level of education. But it must be said there are two contradictions in economic and social development during these years. While the age of the population was and is very young, the labor market offers were very limited and remained limited. And second, while the level of education is high, the labor markets are the market shortages for qualified jobs. Well, there is a disparity between training and employment, which respond to demographic, educational, and cultural developments. Well, that was my short presentation.